Good morning. Yesterday I saw the number came to me, one of the triple digits, and they always catch my attention. It was 222. And little did I know at the time when I saw that I would be recording a video at 222 here on, this is Wednesday morning, the 14th, but it's the video for the 15th of January 2015. And the title for this video is Instant Karma, Return to Sender. Some people seem to delight in creating problems for others. I think the word for that is sadist. Another word is psychopath. This is a mental disease that seems to be a self-replicating virus of the mind that poisons the soul. Why anyone would take delight in traumatizing other people is beyond my comprehension. How can anyone's quality of life improve by diminishing the quality of life of others? Of course it's insane. And it's the disease of the matrix mind control system. The entire world is afflicted and affected. To me, the legitimate prayer of the spiritual warrior is a demand, not a request, for more instant karma. If we are to evolve in any meaningful way, it is essential, as I see it, that everyone's intention be stamped, return to sender. For those who wish ill, let misfortune be returned. For those who bless others, upon them let praise be given. It's time for a new world where truth is restored and justice with mercy prevails. I fell asleep fairly early last night and of course woke up 11 o'clock, maybe it was even a little bit before 11, and finally got out of bed a little bit. Well, actually, I think it was a little bit before midnight that I actually got out of bed, that my feet hit the floor and I got up. So I've already been up for a while, and I've been meditating. Now, before I fell asleep last night, I watched a Teal Swan interview, which I'm clicking on that interview right now. It's Teal Swan interview by Kate O'Brien. And she made a couple of statements in there that definitely caught my attention. One is, there is no good or evil. And the other was, if what you think is truth makes you feel bad, it's time to re-examine what you think is truth. Now, needless to say, I rejected both of those thoughts that were expressed in her interview. That is the New Age bullshit that has wrapped itself around virtually the entire community where I thought I was getting nourished and sustained, and where I no longer can even find relevance. There is evil. It's obvious. Look at the world. Look at the world. And truth is going to make you feel uncomfortable. And that's a good thing, because it's telling you that something's wrong. That something is wrong. And if you look at the world, something is wrong. Now, I say that we need to demand instant karma. In Charles Dickens' novel, A Christmas Carol, Scrooge was Scrooge because he didn't have any joy. Everything was about money. Well, isn't that a picture of the world that we live in? Where the people that are making the rules, so to speak, and manipulating the money, and manipulating the news, and manipulating the structure of our business and our religions and our politics, and manipulating everything, and it's all psychopathic, it's all insane, and you need to look at that, you need to see it. That is what creates all the war, all the conflict, all the disease, all the not all the misfortune, but most of the misfortune is man-made. It's not accidental. Yes, nature has things that just happen, and And that's okay. Nature's not the problem. Man is the problem. And man, and perhaps the extraterrestrials that have claimed ownership of this planet and tried to enslave humanity, yes, they are the problem, and they've created evil. And there is good and evil, Teal Scott. There is truth, Teal Scott. And yes, the truth of living in this world is going to make people feel bad, and it should, because the world is sick. And Teal Scott, you need to wake up. And those of you who believe Teal Scott, you need to wake up because you're embracing psychopathy. You're embracing sadism by denial. Now, it's not that you're sadists, but you're embracing it by denial. Now, this morning, after I got up, I watched a video with Graham Hancock on TED Talk about the war on consciousness, and he talked about ayahuasca, he talked about marijuana, he talked about drugs. But here's the thing: he also talked about how the system, the matrix, punishes people for expanding their consciousness in ways other than the pharmaceutical companies and the oil interests and the cabal want to be explored. They want to control the exploration so as to limit what man is going to discover about ourselves. And there are people in the system that have created a system on purpose to limit, to harm, and even to destroy life. Not just the life of humans, but they make the life of animals and even plants and even the earth itself. They turn it into hell. And that's the truth. Anybody with an open mind can see it, unless you choose to be self-deluded by listening to people like Teal Scott and Muji. You need to wake the fuck up. And we need to start becoming the spiritual warrior that takes a stand for the truth. What is the truth? That we are all children of God. The truth is that there is love for us all. If we weren't brainwashed not to see it, if we weren't blinded or even choosing to be blinded by purposefully denying the evidence of our human experience, instead of escaping into some never land, some utopian vision, which I have utopian visions too. I'm not putting down and saying we shouldn't have them, but we're here to have a human experience. We're here to embrace our feelings, our emotions, yes, even our thoughts, and to examine them and to weigh them, like the feather, like the gods weighing the actions of our lives with the feather of truth. Is it truth? Is it integrable? Does it come from a place of sincerity? Are the intentions pure? If the intentions are not pure, if you are out to hurt others, then I am suggesting to the powers that truly are, the ultimate creator, the prime source of all creation, the great spirit, the mother of life, the mother god of life, the goddess. I'm appealing to you that karma is not something that should take place over many lifetimes, but it needs to be quicker, so that there is a connection in the conscious mind, the ego mind of each individual, that what they are doing is not only harming others, it's harming themselves. Somehow, and I don't really care the mechanism, somehow that message has to get through to the psychopathic mind, to the sadistic mind, to the individual who takes delight in doing harm and creating loss and violating the free will of other beings. There needs to be an immediate and measurable and recognizable something. I don't know what that something always is. It's probably different for each individual, but something needs to grab hold of that individual and let them know that there are consequences of even their intentions. Not just their actions, but if the intention is to harm. And we each need to come to a place of self-examination. Why am I doing this? Why am I trying to escape from the truth? Just to make myself feel good? Well, that's called hedonism. Okay, follow your bliss. That's a good thing. But if you do it at the expense of those that are wounded and hurting, are you being loving? You may claim to be loving because you're loving yourself by wanting to shield yourself from unnecessary pain, or what you claim to be unnecessary pain and discomfort. And you're wanting to surround yourself with good feelings and people that also want to live in Never Never Land and Fantasy Land in Disney World. And there's nothing wrong with these things, but we need to look at ourselves and say, what is this producing? And I'm calling for a return to sender. So that even when your intention is simply to escape, that intention is also marked return to sender, and the thing you're trying to escape from keeps yelling louder and louder and louder till you get it. What is it that you're supposed to get? The truth is, as I see it, the truth is we're supposed to get that we are all connected to everything else. The truth is that we are supposed to get that what we do has an effect on other people. And if we're doing something to harm other people, other beings even, but especially people, let's keep it in the realm of people, if we're intending to harm, there needs to be a repercussion, a boomerang effect that comes back and strikes you right between the eyes, that you throw it out at somebody else, and it comes back, boom, and gets you right between the eyes, or more importantly, in the heart. To awaken the heart to the reality that everything we do affects everyone else and affects the entire society, affects and infects. When you wish ill, it infects and breeds ill in everything. It's a malignancy, a cancer, a virus, and it needs to be transformed or eliminated. It needs to be challenged. And I will continue to challenge it. I won't buy in to Teal Swan. I thought it was Teal Scott. Teal Swan. Did I say Teal Scott earlier? If I did, I was wrong. Teal Swan. Anyway, I won't buy in to that new age bullshit that she and others are putting out there for gullible people to swallow because they don't like the discomfort of being here at this time when we're being challenged to change the world and to address the ills of our world. It's unloving not to. The loving thing is to take on the mantle of responsibility and saying, this is horrible. I need to do something about this. At least pray about it. And when I can, to speak up about it. And to let other people know that I don't accept this. That I'm saying no. That I'm resisting this bullshit. This evil crap. I'm not going to whitewash it and say there's no evil because they're doing good. And that's part of the new age stuff that I've swallowed a lot in my life. Because I want a better world. And I thought that maybe by focusing on what I want instead of what's wrong, that maybe I would get more of what I want. But I didn't. I got more of what I didn't want. It's everything in the new age thing pretty much is being used in the exact opposite way that it was supposed to be used, that would actually bring liberation to planet Earth. And it's time, as I see it, that politicians and judges and CEOs and policemen and soldiers and people that are in positions of so-called authority, which is false authority, because the only authority that you really have is over you. It's not over others. If it's over others, it's a false authority. It's a false authority. We're all equal, and when we treat each other as equals, then we can create something positive. As long as it's done by a dictatorial position, it's only going to bring destruction unless the dictator is truly benevolent and truly loves his or her people, which has not been the case most of human history. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not been the experience that we've had as human beings. So anyway, I want to challenge you as a spiritual warrior to take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at the occupation you're involved in. Is it an occupation that takes advantage of people? I'm praying with all my might every day that it comes back to you, return to sender. You're part of a psychopathic mind control system that enslaves humanity. It's a tyranny, and you need to wake up to that tyranny, because we're not going to change it till we acknowledge the situation that we're in. Until we open our eyes and open our senses, including our extrasensory senses, and we recognize the bigger picture, and we see what our responsibility is. Our responsibility, the opportunity, let me just say not responsibility, but the opportunity that we've been given is to work together, to learn to cooperate, to learn to communicate, so that we can create a world that truly rights the wrongs and brings people to a place where we have all of our gifts, talents, and abilities, and all of our creative powers reactivated, so that we can create beauty instead of war, abundance instead of lack. Thank you for listening. Namaste.